This Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Yoma. The article is edition. We're on Daf Tesam Rav, starting Halacha Dalet. You're going to have to find which on in the Vilna is mamish at the top of Zion Rav. Halacha Dalet. Kol Shuvas Yom, all those 7 days before Yom Kippur that the Kohen Gadol was in a state of Haflasha, Lo Yemina Machol Mishta. They would not curtail for him food or drink. The Erev Yom Kippurim. Im Chashecha, Erev Yom Kippur at towards nightfall, Lam Yechasol Chol They would not let him eat very much. Says the Kormeir Afilu Min Amachlam She'em B'nei Chimum, even food which would not cause him to have an emission, but we didn't want to. But we didn't let him eat a lot of food. Period. The Sheharbe Tzimamachal maybe it's a shame because we didn't want to fall asleep. And so therefore, in order they shouldn't fall asleep, we gave him a curtailed amount of food we gave him. Okay, so the Gemara says during the entire 7 days, even though we did not prevent him from eating and drinking, but things which might bring an emission, such as milk or eggs or gvina, nor cheese, nor fatty meat, nor old wine, which is like a sangria, wine mixed with honey and spices. Below grease and shaful, certain type of legume. Below dashim nor lentils. Shmuel amar below esrog, not an esrog. Below kodabar and not anything else. Shemargil ziva, which would bring a person to have a flow, an emission, which would make a tummy. Ava bichein, even though they took these precautions, right? They would tell them, we need siyata shmai besides it. If Hashem does not build a house, then the pasuk from the Torah Yerushalmi, Hashem does not build a house, workers have toiled for naught. If Hashem does not preserve a city, then the watchman has watched for naught. So saying that we need siyata d'shmaya, we need Kosh Baruch Hu to help us out that you shouldn't become tamei nevertheless. So the Gemara says, well, Lomin Nisim, I think we mentioned this earlier in Masechta in passing. Nisim Shoyu Nasim Beis Hamikdash was not one of the Nisim Beis Hamikdash that the Kohen never was about carry on Yom Kippur. We mentioned it when the Kohen was, when we mentioned carry, we said it meant Mikra Tuma, not actually carry Mamish. So it wasn't one of the Nisim in the Beis Hamikdash. Oh yeah, and I think it was the right hand side, like Ham was on Ham and out in the Vilna. Yeah, Ham and out in the Vilna. That's where we had it, which back wherever it is in the art scroll. Let's see if we can find it. And it was explaining sure carry the Kohen Gadol Yom Kippurim. Back there we said that it was not about carry. So Gemara says, yes, it's true. It wasn't it. But Rabbi Yovan Hashem lo tenasun. You're not supposed to test Hakadosh Baruch Hu, which basically is an interesting way, as Kormeir says, don't deliberately rely on a miracle. So therefore, we take precautions, right? So it's interesting. Lo tenasun. Don't test Hashem. It's the source here for lo ein somchin al hanes. It is in the Vilna's Lo Tenasun, but the Shemini Close points out it's Tenasu, because that's actually what it says in the pasuk itself. In the Dvarim Lo Tenasu, it's Hashem Lokech Rasher Tenasu, Yisi Sem B'Masah. Okay, so that's supposed to test HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and from that we learn Ein Somchin Al Hanes. Rabbi Ahmed says no. Absolutely, that's Rabbi Ahmed. Rabbi Yisrael not necessarily could be a line of miracle. But not in the Kamrisha Kamrasheni. The Beis Hamikdash, the miracle, first Beis Hamikdash, the miracle occurred. The second Beis Hamikdash didn't occur. Occurred when Ben Alis became Tomei. That taka was, it could have been Tumas Kari Mamish, right? And so our mission is to make the Sheni, and there we have to take precautions because there was no nace. So of course, it's you can learn this several ways. Whether argue about some nace, ain't some nace, or argue with something else. There's a bit of arichos in the article about it. Also, the pasuk Lo Tenasu Hashem is not talking about something on this. It seems like it's more of an asmachta than an actual derivation. The article brings down from the chinuch that Moses was to serve not to doubt the truth of a Navi's nevuah and not to test HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, the Gemara here expounds it this way of Ein Somchen Alanis. Okay, halacha masul ziknei basin ziknei kuna. The elders of Basin gave him to who taught him the things we learned till now. But Koras gave to the ziknei kuna. Halchula Lias base of Tinas. So took him to Lias base of Tinas, and where the Ktoros is made to customs of Ktoros. He's biur. They made him take a shvua that he should not be a stokie. What did the stokim do? They would do ignite the Ktoros outside of the Kodesh Kodashim. We believe you have to ignite the Ktoros inside Kodesh Kodashim. The niftu, they left. Hochul lohem, and then they left. So what was the shvua? Amrulo. They said Isha Kohen Gadol. Master Kohen Gadol. Anu shluchei Basin, v'ad shluchenu ushliach Basin. We are the emissaries of Basin. You are our emissary. You are our emissary and emissary of Basin. Mashbin anu alecha. We make you take an oath. Memisha shichin shmo b'ayis says that the name of the entity, Kodesh Baruch Hu, who put his name, bestowed his name in this house. Shlo tishanet davar mikol shamarnu lecha. Do you should not deviate from anything we told you in what you have to do in that Avodah of Yom Kippur. Fu parish boicha, vein parish and barchin. They both separate. He that he was a suspect, and they that had to suspect somebody who was like a kosher, and they had to be chayshi b'kshay. Okay, the Gemara says, where was Liskar Beis Hatinas? Al Shar Beis Hamayim, Al Shar Gabi Shar Hamayim. So it was on top of the Watergate. The sum of Lishkas, it was next to the Lishkas HaPerhedrin. Who Poresh Boche? As we said, he separates and he cries. Shenechshad, he was suspected. Fein Poresh Boche, and they said, but they cry, Shetzorch Lekach, that they had to suspect him. For Lama Ashbina, so why would they make him take the shvua in the first place? May Betusim. Tzedok and Betusim are the same group. They're leaders with Tzedok and Besus. The Talmidim Antigush Moish Socho who went OTD off the derech. Shomrim said Yaktir Bachutz. You ignite the Ktores outside the Kodesh Kodashim. V'yachnis b'fnim, bring it inside when it's already burning. Ma'is Bechut Shikti Bachutz b'fnim. So it was a Kohen Gadol who actually did this once. Tzedoki, obviously. He was Maktir B'Yavachutz. He ignited the Ktores outside and then brought it into the Kodesh Kodashim. K'shi Yotza. And he came out. He took pride in what he did. It was a kanoi for the Tzedoki cause. He says, he said to his father, even though you expounded your entire lives that he should come into the Kodesh with the with the Ktoros burning, with the Ktoros smoking. Lo asisem, you didn't do it. Achaman also ish. Until this person, speaking about himself in the third person, rose up and did it. Amar his father said, Abishinu Darshim Koyamenu. Said, listen, yes, we expound that way our entire lives, but there's no Trinitarian practice. But we did it the way Chachamim wanted us to do it. We had our opinions, but we did the way the Prushim, the Chachamim told us to do it. Tamiani, I'm Yarch also Ish Yomim Boilam. I'll be astounded that person, speaking about his son in the third person, will be able to have an extended life on this earth. They said, they said, Lo Boyam and Kalim Achames. Not even light days passed until he died shortly thereafter. Pieshrim, some say that it was immediate. Yotza, he came out immediately. When immediately came to Kodesh Kodashim, Chotomo b'nezanik toloim, with his nose spewing forth worms. Kin parsas egel alas besoch mitzcho, and there was a something which looked like the hoof print of a calf on his forehead, because the Malachim's legs in the visions which they're seen have the form of a hoof print. So this is a sign that he was killed by a malach inside the Kodesh Kodashim. Or rather, he was hit by the malach, and he managed to make his way out and then expired shortly thereafter. Easter boy Meimar, those who wanted to say he the Porah, he the Sukkah. Now, the case, there are a couple of clients who did deviant things. So I wanted to say that the same one who did the Porah is the one who did is one of Sukkah. The Korban explains, "Osa tokish osa ma'isa sokim bePorah." Omi b'murave shemesh naseh, said the person who does the performance paraduma cannot be tfuyom, as Chachomim said. But as somebody who underwent Harev Shemesh, fully tahor. Who nami tztoki sosa toki osa ma'isa tztoki b'nisach hamayim. He was the tztoki who did the ma'isa tztoki b'nisach hamayim, which means he did not pour it in the shitim as he was supposed to, just poured it on his legs to show that the tztokim did not believe in nisach hamayim. That's a drasha. So therefore, it's a drasha lachol Moshe Sinai. So it's a drasha from Mem Yud Mem in the psukim about the Korban Sukkos, or it's lachol Moshe Sinai. So they didn't believe in it. So they some say the Hunami at Tzogi Shasa Ma'aseh Tzogim Nisach Mai Buasa Ma'aseh Tzogim Yom Kippurim. There was also one that the Ma'aseh Tzogim Yom Kippurim with Takim B'chutz L'Achnis Yivni. So you have three episodes here. Yom Kippur, the B'Kteres, Paraduma, Mura Shemesh. That'd be done with somebody who already after it was Tor, after had a heart of Shemesh the night before, right? Not full Yom, and then we have the Nisach Hamayim. So some say again, Yitzboy Meimer, who the Parah, who the Sukkah, who the Yom Kippur. I haven't stepped merely before the sentence. The same person did Parah, Sukkah, Yom Kippur, which Rabbi Simon Lo Amarken. Simon said this: El the Parah, the Sukkah Chad, either one of Parah and Sukkah was one, or the Kippur Chad and the Yom Kippur was another one, or the Parah of Kippur Chad, or the one of Parah and Yom Kippur was the same one, or the Sukkah Chad. And the Sukkah was another one. Now, the Mandamar, and now we're going to apply that to our Gemara. Mandamar lo bo yom kama shemeis tzlasena by. The one who said, well, he died shortly after Yom Kippur. He did all three. He did it says Korban Mandamar Yom Kippur lo bo yom kama shemeis ikle mem tzlasena by. The ben Yom Kippur l'sukkah sarav hapara. He few days, some days passed, not so many, but some days passed, so he could have done that Avodah Yom Kippur. Between Yom Kippur and Sukkah Sarv HaPar, he did the Paraduma. With Sukkah Smeis, Sukkah, he died. What happened to the Kohen Gadol who did Nisach Mayim on his feet? They stoned him death by throwing the Esrogim at him. So it could all be the same person, right? He did the Yom Kippur Avodah, then did the Paraduma, then Sukkah, and then they esroged him to death. Again, man, a little bit yom come mace tlaseno, but man, my yotzach chasam chasam is the zanek taloim. He passed elu yotzach mitzcho, so then he didn't get the sukkahs. So command him either part of the sukkah chad. That man would hold that, and then part of the sukkah was another one. Yom Kippur was one guy, part of the sukkah was another one. Uti Kippur chad and Yom Kippur was another one. Again, man yotzach chasam zanek taloim. Kamin pass elu yotzach mitzcho. Command him either part of the sukkah chad, Kippurim chad, or the part of the Kippurim chad. The part of Yom Kippur was one, and then he died, right? The sukkah chad and the sukkah was another one. Okay, so so there obviously, if he died of Yom Kippur, he didn't make the sukkahs, and he was not able to be the one who was stoned by the Esrogim. There has to be somebody else. Okay, Tzav Chalei Mazora. So the Zorah started shouting him. So one of Pesachim Daf Nun Zayin, which is referencing Mesilas Yesharim, brings other tzvachos which does always Soveach, but on other occasions. But he was just talking about this case. Umikan Bnei Eli, go out for Bnei Eli, and the Tzdokim were the spiritual heirs of the Bnei Eli. Says Bnei Moshe says, Moshe Tzavcha Zara Bnei Eli, who were Chafni and Pinchas, who did wrong with the Karbonos back then. These are the spiritual. These Kohanim were the spiritual heirs of Bnei Eli. Timesem Beis Elokeinu. You defiled the Beis Hamikdash by doing that very incorrect. Bo Bayom, on that day that they stoned the Tzdoki with their Esrogim, Nifkama Karen Mizbeach. I mean, these Esrogim, they were tough Esrogim. It damaged the horn of the Mizbeach. Nasla Gusha Melech, and they put a block of salt there. Kadesh near a pogum. In order that it shouldn't look damaged. Kom Mizbeach Elo Karen Mizbeach Sovei Yisod. Plus, any Mizbeach which does have a Karen, the horns, and the Yisod and the foundation, the Sovev is possible. So I'm not sure you need the picture, but there's a picture in Azara in the art school. Yeah, the Karen is under the Karen's on top. The Sovev is in the middle, and the Yisod is on the bottom. So it actually I believe the Good Gemara in Sukkah, which says that it didn't actually make them as bad kosher to have a block of salt there, but again, it shouldn't be near a pogum. Is that put down here? I don't think so. Okay, now that's a very interesting question. Bonkum Re'avo. That's for Re'avo. How could a malach come in and kill the Tzdoki Kohen Gadol with that footprint? The V'al then say B'chodam lo yeh b'or moed b'vol chaper gosh. I'd say so. No person could be in the or moed, meaning not even the heichal, right? But certainly not in the Kodesh Kodashim. When he comes to me mechaper in the Kodesh until he leaves. I feel and the Gemara has a drasha. I feel osan shekasu bohen. Even those who concerning him it says udmus pnei adam. The countenance of their face is like the face of Adam, meaning they're not really people, but they have countenance like people. Malachim, lo yel ba'ol moed. They can't be an ol moed. So how could the malach be there in order to smite him? By the way, I see now the Karma Eder brings down Shleiner Pogum Klum Loshia Koshla by Stephen Zu Elish ain't Photoshop back. Shanir Kapogum Bloy after attacking the Gamri. Should be on the player. We're gonna fix it because it was Yontif, so therefore they just put it there so it would look wouldn't look chaser. So so again, but so the how could they how could they have the how could the Malach have gone in? So says Gemara, that's a special gift. He says, "B'shoshu nichlas amalo b'shoshu nichlas kedarko." Okay, b'shoshu nichlas kedarko when he goes in the right way, when the avodah is done properly. Then nobody is there besides Kohen Gadol, Kabiyachol, and Kodesh Baruch Hu. Like I said, one of brachas. Right? Shmuel Kohen Gadol saw this vision. So Shmuel Shimon Tzaddik, whoever it was, saw the vision when he went in. But then no malach can come in. But with the Kohen Gadol messes up, so then the malach will come in order to mess him up. So there's a nice, very nice for Yerushalmi, of course, my grandfather. He says that, from the Sefer Dvar Yehuda, he says, first of all, he brings down the Malbim, says that, how do you know that Adam here is not Adam Kibshuta, but it refers to Malach, because it says Bichol Adam, so it's the Drasha Bichol Adam. Okay, from the Ushul, that's the Malbim, basically Simon Yud. And then he brings down my grandfather, Rabbi Yehuda Shachan Satzal, the plus our common grandfather, that he explains this Gemara based on the Dvar Yehuda Ki Sisa, Lamdavav, based on Breish Ola Samaches Tes. Marshal Ovo Shemelech Sheboy Tzol Prokin. It's like the close friend of the king who comes to him on occasion. So Amar King says, Kabua Saneros, Kabua Panasim, lower the extinguish candles, extinguish the lights. Shibakish Dabrim Obi Batsina. I want to speak with my beloved friend in secrets. That's when it's done properly, and it's Ovo Shemelech. When it's not Ovo Shemelech, they don't dim the lights, they don't dim the candles, they don't go in private. The Malachim come in and zap him. Beautiful shot. Okay, so what was the Machlekes? So the Gemara says, Ksiv vivimi beis paroches. Bring the you bring the ktores mi beis paroches to inside the paroches, beyond the curtain. But nasagas eish b'nei Hashem, and you put the ktores on the eish before Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the way we learn it. Shlo yitakem b'chusi yachnis b'ivnim. Don't fix it on the outside and then bring it inside. It's talking on the other end. Say, he talking about chutzin yachnis. No, you have to fix it on the outside and then bring it in. Why they say this? Their logic. They said im lifnei basar adam osin kain. If before a basar adam you don't make the incense inside in his presence, it's like a it's not it doesn't pass. It's not appropriate. It's something which should be fixed outside. Not it's like cooking in front of your guest. So kavacham of makam certainly before Kodesh Baruch Hu. And you would not fix it on the inside. You fix it on the outside for good. And furthermore, Omer it says kibel non era el kaporas. In the smoke, I will be seen on the kaporas. So therefore, from the moment the Kohen Gadol goes in, they learned he has to already be in the smoke. So it's going to be in the smoke, if he fixes it outside and then comes in, right? Anyway, when you come in with the smoke, then I will be seen on the kapora, so to speak. Not seen literally, but I will be present. So Chachamim disagreed. They said, look, for Ne'amar, Nosanas Katoras Al Eish Livnei Hashem. Eino Nosin El Bifnei. Right? In Cain, Lama Ne'amar Kiba Non Era Kaporas. So that's the case. What do you do this possibly Kiba Non Era Kaporas? So it tells us that there's a special ingredient in the Ktoris which makes it smoke heavily, right? So it's the Malo Oshan. Seems to ask again, Nayin Shunos about Malo Oshan. So the name Moshe says, Klomar Minayin L'ikuv. I don't know, it's not just good advice to make more to have a lot of smoke. Shput Malo Oshan, but rather it's Ma'akev Tam Lav V'Chisa. Okay, so it's Shina Lava Kosovo Akev, right? It's repeated into to tell us that it's an impediment, right? Okay. If you didn't put Malashon, or you didn't didn't put in one of the ingredients of the chorus. So Chai Misa. So the Chai Misa is Misa De Shemayim. It sounds like Misa B'dei Adam. It's not. It's Misa De Shemayim. So now we say V'loyamus. That second pasuk of Shina Leva Kasuv La'akev Harei Zoinish. That's the punishment, right? The Kiba Nara Kapores Harei Zazar. That's a warning. In other words, it's it's telling us that you have to be careful. It's not to do it. So it's not. Once we know it's Ma'akev, the other pasuk is not just good advice, right? It's telling us that a warning. Make sure to do it right. Otherwise, you're going to have you're going to get Misa B'dei Shemayim. Someone's going to ask if this relates to the Misa of Nadav and Avihu and why they died, but that's we're already on the on Daf Yud, and so we will leave it that discussion for tomorrow. Here's Daf Yud, right? Yeah, Daf Yud. Okay.